There is one thing that most organizations get wrong about commissioning at first until they realize that they're making this mistake. So if you want to avoid this mistake and learn how to overcome this obstacle, then this episode is for you.
You're listening to the Industrial Commissioning Association podcast, where we discuss best practices for industrial plant process and energy system commissioning. Get ready to say no to outdated industry norms and say yes to improved project performance. Here's your host, Paul Turner.
A lot of project teams start out on projects with the desire to cut costs, and this is a natural desire because you want to save money and deliver your projects as efficiently as possible. But one of the first things that often gets cut is commissioning and the costs associated with early commissioning involvement. It's often because there's a confusion between testing and commissioning, and there's a lack of understanding about why commissioning folks need to be involved early in projects to ensure that testing much later is successful. There's a lot of confusion maybe from smaller projects or maybe from some building commissioning projects that don't necessarily include the same aspects of early commissioning involvement. So there's a lot of confusion in the industry, and it's understandable why there's hesitation or resistance to involve commissioning early in projects. But the industrial commissioning process requires much more upfront planning to ensure that commissioning and testing is successful later in the project. So a lot of organizations, when they're just starting out developing projects, get some of this stuff wrong at first until they unfortunately learn some of these lessons the hard way and then maybe learn some new processes for their second or third project. So some organizations often suffer from something that's called optimism bias. They've reviewed some of the information out there and they feel that the same challenges that other projects have faced won't happen to them, right? That they'll be able to do better, they'll be able to avoid those challenges, and it just won't happen. They think that they'll be able to overcome these challenges on their own, and they often insist on learning a lot of these lessons the hard way. But after going through their first project and maybe seeing some of these challenges firsthand, rather than reading about them on other projects, once their project goes 30% over budget, ends up many months late or years late, then they sure listen to these lessons learned a second time so that they don't implement these same mistakes on their next project. But by that point, the damage is already done on their first project and there's not much you can do to recover. So don't get stuck with optimism bias. All the lessons learned that you need are in the Industrial Commissioning Association's members area, where you can get access to the ICA Global Commissioning Standard, which shows you all the lessons learned and all the best practices so you can get this right the first time rather than having to learn the hard way the first time. Another aspect that most organizations get wrong their first time with commissioning is suffering from uniqueness bias. They often think that their project is a unique special snowflake and that none of this applies to their projects. Again, this is another mistake that most organizations make when planning for commissioning. And unless you're building something like the James Webb Space Telescope that has never been done before, your project is not unique. It has been done before. For example, there's wastewater treatment plants all over the world in pretty much every city. There's power substations that exist everywhere. There's oil and gas projects everywhere, LNG facilities. All of these projects have been done before, and you need to apply the lessons learned from these projects to your project as well. And again, all these lessons learned from all of these projects from these various industries are captured within the ICA Global Commissioning Standard, which you can get access to for free in the members area of the Industrial Commissioning Association. So instead of getting commissioning wrong at first on your projects and having to learn some of these lessons the hard way, get access to the resources available to you for free when you're a member of the Industrial Commissioning Association, and all of these resources are available in the members area when you log in. So you can avoid all of these mistakes and not make them on your first project. You can get this right the first time, right from the start. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks for listening. To become a member of the Industrial Commissioning Association, visit icxa.net. Members get access to commissioning standards, procurement specifications, commissioning training and certification, plus many more specialized resources to help you with commissioning of your industrial plant process and energy systems. Visit icxa.net for more information.